Welcome back, you guys, to SP Kids Monday. I love you guys. I miss you guys. And we have something awesome in store for you this week. I really like this story. Some of you, I think, are going to be familiar with what we're looking at today. But before we get there, I want to remind us of where we've been in this month of August, where we were last week. We looked at the book and the story of Esther last week. And this week's story is another awesome one. Of course, all Scripture is awesome. But as we look at our theme and what we've been talking about for this month, we've been looking at these two ideas as they are kind of formed together. Our big theme has been indescribable. And just looking at, what God has done here in our world and making me and making you and everything that He's done is indescribable. God is mighty and big, and He has done a work in this world and just by creating our world. And what connects with that is this idea of creativity. And the fact that God, at the very beginning, we looked at Genesis, and we have the beginning of us, the beginning of our world, of everything that we see, and how creative God is in that, in bringing us to life and in bringing our world to life. And so that idea of creativity and the fact that we have and we follow a creative God has just flowed through every story as we have been able to look into that. And so last week was the fact that God has created us with purpose. And as we looked at the story of Esther, the fact that Esther found that purpose and found what God was looking to do with her in the moment she was in. And that flows right into our story for today. Our story for today looks at that same idea, the fact that God creates us for a purpose. And then we find ourselves in a moment where God is using us for that purpose. And so our story today is from Mark chapter 2. And I'll let you guys read it. It's verses 1 through 12. It's right at the beginning of chapter 2 and of Mark. But it involves 4 friends, and then their one friend that is unable to move, unable to walk. And so these 4 friends hear about Jesus. Jesus is this prophet. Jesus is a guy that has been healing and performing miracles and creatively doing what no one else can. Well, why? Because He's God. And so these 4 friends, they bring their one friend to where Jesus is at, and they realize, oh my gosh, how in the world are we going to get past this humongous crowd that's present so that Jesus can simply come and touch our friend and heal him? And so if you have heard this story before, you know what happens. If you haven't, here's what they do. They go through the roof. I know in our current structures and where you're even at, probably watching this right now, that's kind of odd. But in that time, they were able to dig through the roof and literally lower their friend right into the arms and the lap of Jesus. And what's really cool is that Jesus doesn't say, whoa, what's going on here? Jesus doesn't say, no, get out of here. I've got these people I'm talking to already. He doesn't do anything like that. He just sits there and He's like, all right. Now, these are one of those moments that I know Jesus didn't say dude, and I know Scripture doesn't say dude, but I think this is one of those moments where Jesus will just go, dude, these guys have so much faith in me and my Father that they're willing to go to the lengths to bring their friend to me. And so Jesus, He heals the guy. By the end of the story, He also forgives his sins. So it's an amazing story, and I look forward to you guys reading that and diving into that together as a family. But I'm going to leave you with our question for the day, okay? Our question for the day is this: how can working with others make you creative? We have our friends who are creatively thinking and knowing we need to get to Jesus. We need to get our friends to Jesus because Jesus has the power to change our friend's life, to heal him. Now, Jesus does way more than that. He does heal. But there's this aspect, this place of the friends thinking through together. We have this purpose that we are looking to accomplish. How can we creatively get there? And so again, I'll read the question to you. How can working with others make you creative. And so I hope you guys will think about that, talk about that as a family. And with that, I'm going to sign off, and we will see you guys next week. Love you all.